today's video, we're in the Peak District National Park, in Bakewell no less. That's down and right a bit of Manchester, up and right a bit of Stoke-on-Trent, and left a bit of Chesterfield. Yep, just about there. We've heard Bakewell has puddings and tarts. No, tarts, Wills. So we're in. If you don't know us, I'm Rachel, the Smelly Ones Wills, and we are Postcard and a Pint. And if you give us a cheeky like and subscribe to the channel, we'd be most grateful. Now, what sort of day was it? It was the perfect day to be driving in the English countryside. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Unfortunately, there were many cars in the car park. But we're all parked up in the main car park. We got a space in the end. Your what three words are basher, mealtime, clown. Let's explore Bakewell. To the town centre we go. We crossed over the River Wye and found ourselves in the most perfect chocolate box town. Bakewell is the biggest town in the Peak District National Park. With its beautiful stone buildings and quaint courtyards, it's easy to see why visitors are drawn here. Our first stop was for a drink and a snack, as Bakewell was quite literally baking well on this glorious summer's day. We were outside at the old original Bakewell Pudding shop. There was a good varied menu, but we were burning in the sun, so had to move inside. Rach? First stop, it had to be food related. We're in the old original Bakewell Pudding shop, and yes, we are going to try one. But first, it's a grilled halloumi, tomato and basil panini for me, and a fish fingers sandwich for Wills. Get it down, you lad. Excellent work, and that's Mrs. Wilson, but we'll hear more about her later. As well as having a restaurant and selling the puddings, there is a shop area that also sells local crafts and delicacies. We went for some chutney. And then joined the massive queue to acquire our Bakewell puddings, not to be confused with Bakewell tarts or Bakewell gin. What a beautiful shop, and so full of history. How are those Bakewell puddings, Rach? Now, we were going to try a pudding in there, but just too full after that massive lunch, so we bought some. Later on, we're going to go for a walk. There's a really cool story with these as well, so we'll tell you that on our walk later. But now we've more of Bakewell to see. There seems to be a good amount of pubs and a very lovely hotel. We wandered into Bath Gardens, a local park in the middle of Bakewell. There was a lovely war memorial and a very patriotic house. As well as beautifully kept gardens, you'll also find the home of Bakewell Town Bowling Club here in Bath Gardens. But why Bath? We're now in Bath Gardens. This is the former site of the old 1697 bathhouse. Because Bakewell is fed by natural spring water, the plan was to make it a spa town, like nearby Buxton and Matlock. This didn't happen though. Which is a shame, as it's stunning. But oh look, there's a craft fair on in the Scout Hut. We're going in. There were some lovely things for sale, but it was so hot we wandered back out into the gardens and had a short rest amongst the beautiful flowers. Right, that's enough rest. You've got more to see. Now, has anyone famous ever stayed in Bakewell? Jane Austen stayed at the Rutland Arms Hotel back in 1811, and it's said she made some amendments whilst here to Pride and Prejudice. She stayed in room 2, which is the end left window of the middle floor. Oh, and William Wordsworth stayed there too, and wrote 2 poems whilst there. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Not today, William. It's baking in Bakewell, and next we're heading up North Church Street. Rather remarkably, up North Church Street, you'll find a church. Well, All Saints Church to be precise. It's very pretty, and I think it's time you gave us some history. Take it away, Rach. This is All Saints Church. Now, there's been a church on this site since 920 AD. The building you see today, though, dates from the 1840s. We were lucky to find the church open, so went for a wander inside. It's very pretty, but much more impressive is the information about the various preaching crosses they have outside. We enjoyed our visit, and Wills even found Christmas tucked behind the door. We then left the church and continued up the hill, as there was a museum we wanted to check out. This looks super quaint and very interesting. Directly behind the church, you'll find Old House, which is now a little museum all about Bakewell. Let's go take a look. It cost us £6.50 each to visit, and it was money well spent, as we quickly learned that one of the house's former residents has the best name we'd ever heard. Fanny Pit. But serious history first, Rach.
This house, built in 1534, is now a museum. It was once the house of the tax collector.
Oh. So that would be more of a money pit than a fanny pit.
Then, in the Industrial Revolution, it was a mill worker's cottage. All right.
Well, if her name's Fanny Pit, probably not. But in all seriousness, it is a great museum, taking you through the life of the house and the lives of the people who lived in it, from the 16th century to the 1960s. You even get the history of the Bakewell Pudding, but more about that later. Now, can Will's rival Fanny Pit in the comedy stakes? No. All in all, it's a great little museum and well worth a visit. But the moral of the story has to be, if your surname is Pitt, don't call your daughter Fanny, eh? She won't thank you for it. Right, the bell has rung and our visit is over. Over to you, Wills. How are you finding today?
We're loving Bakewell so far. When we came here, I thought there's going to be nothing to do, but it's such a pretty place. We've been in the church, looking forward to having me pudding, and I hope we're going to go stop for a pint, because it must be nearly pint time.
Yes, a pit stop, and no, there'll be no more pit gags, Fanny or otherwise. We've a hill to walk down and a picnic spot to find.
Remember ages and ages ago, we had our lunch and we bought some Bakewell puddings. Well, the time has come to test these Bakewell puddings, but first, their story. Now, a long, long time ago, where the Rutland Arms is now was once a pub or an inn called the White Horse Inn, and it is there that these puddings originated by accident.
A very lucky accident.
Now, the landlady of the White Horse Inn left instructions for her cook to bake a batch of jam tarts. So the cook set to work, but silly cook, instead of pouring the almond and egg mixture into the pastry, she poured it on top and baked them. Once cooked, the almond and egg mixture set almost like an egg custard, and bam, a new dessert was born.
What a silly cooker.
News of this new pudding reached the ears of Mrs. Wilson. Now, she was the wife of the candle maker in town. She acquired the recipe and she started baking these out of her own kitchen. And that house today is still the old original Bakewell pudding shop.
But are they nice?
And now we're going to try it out and review it just for you. Now, we're going to share one because we're still full of the food. Whoa, look at that. Still full of the food before. So it's quite flaky. So I'm going to go first. Very flaky. Here we go. You watch him. Quite a hard but flaky crust. This bit's nice. Very gooey. Can't decide what it is. It doesn't taste like egg custard. It's quite sweet. Have another taste. Whatever it is, it's very nice. What do you think?
My turn. I guess that's what happens to a pastry when the egg doesn't go in it. It flakes for days. It's crunchier than I thought it would be. It tastes very almondy. Very almondy, very sweet, very gooey, and very nice.
I've just got what the sweetness is. It's actually on the jam. The egg custardy bit is on the jam itself. Very nice.
Yes, you stuff your faces in a field by the river in Bakewell, kids. But
had we had these in the old pudding shop, they'd have been served warm with either ice cream or cream, but we were too full. So what we've done is we've bought a couple of spares. We're going to take them home, and when we do our sum up, we'll have them as God intended. Cheers.
So it was back into the town centre for a last look around. Unlike a lot of today's British towns, Bakewell seems to be thriving. There aren't too many empty shops, and there seems to be a lot of successful independent businesses. Like this old-fashioned sweet shop selling sweets of yesteryear. It brought back many nostalgic memories. Then it was back into the streets to try to find a drink. Did we mention it was very hot? There is plenty of choice. They even have an Austrian pub. Bloomers is another of Bakewell's bakeries. They also sell the famous puddings. It had been a gorgeous day, and we really wished we were staying over, as there is loads in this area we'd love to see and do. But now, to find a seat and a nice cold drink. This looks perfect.
We just stopped at the Secret Garden, a little pop stop, and how beautiful is this? I mean, it's gorgeous at night. Just means we'll have to come back again, doesn't it?
It certainly does. We slowly made our way back to the car park. Past yet another vintage sweet shop. They do like their sweets in Bakewell. Then it was back to the river and the impressive Bakewell Bridge dating back to the 14th century. We enjoyed a leisurely stroll along the river. We watched people feeding the many birds, but those birds were up against it as the fish were equally keen to eat the bread. Then it was over the Lovelock Bridge back towards the car. What a perfect day out it had been. But for now, take it away, kids.
Well, we're back. We're back in the living room. We haven't done one of these for a long time. This feels quite strange, but also very nice indeed. What a fun day.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
You know what? It's actually felt like one of our older vlogs that we used to do. It's been really nice doing it.
It's been hot.
It's boiling today. Look how we've caught the sun.
I know. We picked today because it looked the best weather day of the week. Oh my God, it's been like being in Europe today.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bakewell, beautiful. It's in a little valley, it's like a little microclimate, and it's just stunning.
It's total chocolate picture box, whatever they call it, you know what I mean? Chocolate perfect picture box.
I've got one negative on it.
Go on.
Is it's a bit of a bottleneck for traffic.
That's true.
They've pedestrianised a couple of streets and they are beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know you can't pedestrianise it all. And also, I don't think they can build a bypass around it because of where it
sits
is.
in the valley,
it sits
doesn't
in
it?
a valley.
Yeah.
That's just a shame. Maybe it's not like that the whole year.
Maybe
we
it
just
was
gone,
a particularly busy day today, wasn't
sunny
it?
August Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just ram jam full. Maybe it's not normally that bad. But it was a shame for people sitting outside the Rutland Arms, having their, pint with like traffic in your face the whole time.
You know what I wish?
What?
I wish we'd stay there for a couple of days because there was so much we didn't see. There's a beautiful walk up and down the river. There's beautiful mills.
There's Haddon Hall. There's Chatsworth House. There's Ashford on the Water, the way you can...
Basically, we watched Susan Calman. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but Susan Calman's grand day out, and she went to Bakewell. That's why we got the idea.
Yeah.
And she was playing poo sticks over the bridge, Winnie the Pooh, and...
I tell you what, Susan Calman didn't have the problem with.
Parking.
No, well, not parking. A queue in the pudding shop.
How big was the queue in the pudding shop?
We must have waited 12, 15 minutes. And talking of pudding...
We've got the puddings.
It's been in the microwave. Neither of us fancy it with cream or ice cream, so we've just warmed it up.
No, so we're going to test it.
I'm going to make you go first because it come out the microwave. Just in case it's like...
Just in case it's too hot.
Yeah.
So, how does it compare hot to it did earlier on?
There we go. Oh, ow. There we go.
Well, it's a bit harder to handle, Mrs.
Looks gooey.
Oh, you know what?
Is it game changing?
Oh,
you're right there.
well, oh God.
It's all around your mouth.
That's all right. Save for later. The pastry is a bit crispier.
Yeah.
I just copped on the camera then. Pastry's a bit crispier. But the jam's really coming out.
Is it almondy still?
Almondy still. Have a look at that.
I want to go.
No, it's all mine.
No, it's not all yours.
I'm enjoying this. I wasn't going to eat this. We've cut it in half. We're only sharing one. I think I might need to go and get the other one. Oh, a bit hot.
Yeah, you're right. The pastry actually holds together better now.
Yeah.
Now it's hot. I'm going to have one more bite and then we'll finish us stuffing our faces.
You're just watching us eat now, aren't you? Go on, let's get on with it.
Yeah.
We'll finish this off in a bit.
We will. Right. We have a shout out to a new Patreon. I'm not doing it. Her name's Rachel, which is the same as me. And she's from... It's Rachel from Britain on a Budget.
Oh, yeah.
And she's made hers a swift half. So cheers to you, Rachel. And I'm sorry, this is how you've had to be introduced on our channel by him stuffing his face and he can't talk.
Sorry, I just had a complete brain freeze then.
But welcome to the family.
Oh, man.
We did a few little Patreon videos this week, haven't we?
Yeah, we went to Barmouth, didn't we?
Yeah, we went to Barmouth. It was, again, a lovely day. What's with the weather this year?
I know.
Beautiful. Went to Barmouth.
This week, not this year.
Okay. Yeah, it did rain from January till, I think, the end of May, didn't it? Or middle of June.
Tell you what we've also got to mention as well.
Who have?
The grape sodas.
We have. We met
You
up with
mentioned
them.
the grape sodas, yeah.
Yeah, we actually did a cheers to the good time. Should we put that on the end of here?
We should stick that to the end of
We
here, yeah.
will.
We met up with the grape sodas. They've got a Travel Channel vlog. They're the loveliest people.
Lovely, lovely people.
Yeah.
They've done. They've been up on the Isle of Mull, and they worked their way down, and they had a little bit of time. They actually stayed on the Wirral, but they came into Wales, North Wales, and saw a few bits and pieces, and then met up at a pub not far from us, right outside your work.
It was lovely, yeah.
So we went down. We had a lovely evening.
Spent a couple of hours with them.
Talked and talked and talked and talked. Could have talked all night.
I've still got bits of Bakewell Pudding in
Yeah,
your
so
teeth,
bad.
sorry.
It was absolutely amazing. So it was so nice to meet you guys, and cheers to you.
Thank you very much.
Right. So if you like this video, that would be great.
Yeah, we should probably finish it, shouldn't we?
We really should.
We should
We've
hit
got
that.
pudding to eat.
We have got pudding to eat and beer to drink. If you'd hit that button, if you do the like, you always say that thing, but do the likey thing, do the subscribe thing, leave us a comment.
Absolutely.
Have you been to Bakewell? Have you had a Bakewell pudding?
Yeah.
Have you had a Bakewell tart?
Yeah, they sold those as well. Right, so we're not going to say cheers to the good times now.
We're going to hand over to the
We are
grape
going to
sodas.
cut over to the grape sodas, and we'll see you there. As we say in Postcard and Pint,
Cheers to the good times. I was on the beach and I got hit by this massive wave of cake.
did you?
Yeah, it was the tiramisu tsunami.
Oh,